Example 3 on sketching exponential functions. For this example, I have this function 4 times 2 to the negative, and I have x plus 2 in parentheses minus 3. Notice I have a negative here in my exponent. So this negative belongs to this exponent, which is my x value also. This will have an impact on my x. It's going to reflect this graph across the y-axis, okay? So let's look at this, at the three things we usually look at. We want to know if this is increasing or decreasing. Is this increasing or decreasing? We know if we look at the base, if this number is greater than 1, it is increasing. Okay? That tells me that I have a reference as to how this function will look. This is just a reference, okay? Just to help me draw the final one. The next thing I'm going to look at is at y-intercept. For y-intercept, I will evaluate the original function at the value 0. Anywhere there's an x, I plug in a 0. That equals 4 times 2 to the negative 2 power minus 3. That's going to equal 4 times 1 over 2 squared minus 3, and that equals 4 times 1/4 minus 3. That is going to equal 4 times a fourth is 1, and 1 minus 3 is negative 2. So your y-intercept is at 0, negative 2. And now let's do horizontal asymptote. For horizontal asymptote, very simple. Whatever shift you have up or down on your y-axis, that's going to be your horizontal asymptote. So it's going to be at y equal negative 3. Okay, so let's start plotting these values. 0, negative 2, that's 0, negative 2 is right here. That's your y-intercept. Your horizontal asymptote at negative 3. That's right here. Okay. Now is when we use our reference. We had said that this function is increasing. So if this is my horizontal asymptote and this is increasing, I'm going to go ahead and just draw this, my reference. I should draw my reference as a dashed line. You don't have to draw your reference, okay? This is just to help you, just so that you have an idea. Now, that's my reference. I'm going to reflect this graph across the y-axis because I have a negative here. So that means if I fold across the y-axis, I fold my paper the long way, this will reflect across this side. So this is what it's going to look like. It will approach the horizontal asymptote like this, cross my y-axis at the y-intercept, and grow. Okay? So notice that my final graph is the pink one. It is a reflection of my reference one. The reference one doesn't matter. I like to draw it just so that you can see what the reflection is going to look like. Okay? And there you have it. Now let's talk about domain. The domain, again, all real numbers because any x works for this. And your range, remember, we sweep back and forth, no graph, no graph, no graph, no graph. All of a sudden I hit my graph. Where do I start hitting my graph? At the horizontal asymptote in this case. So my range starts at negative 3, not including negative 3. That's why I use the parentheses. And if I keep sweeping all the way up, I will have a pink graph all the way up to positive infinity. And that's your range. Okay, hope this helps. I will give you more examples. I think one more where it is not increasing, where it's decreasing, and all the reflections that we can have. Okay, I'll see you in the next one.